People, if you're a Jamaica Labour Party supporter, I not talk the PNP them. Would mind all of the PNP them come off of the page. Go on run Andrea Stevens page. Go on run Atta for the press page. Go on over Wayne Lunson page. Go on over the other one where him and Andrea did in a war. Another Wayne or whatever. Go on over them page. Or you go over TikTok over the Duns page. Them just go on over them page. Doreen, go on to Doreen Williams, just go on. Valerie 474, run away, fast. Margaret Sullivan, move up. Canadian girl, take care yourself. Take care yourself right through. Remember now, if you're a Labourite, please comment and tell me why you think the Prime Minister of Jamaica supposed to resign from his post as Prime Minister. I go down in one piece of detail from Clive Mullins. So I can repeat again. Once you support the Jamaica Labour Party, give me a reason why you want Andrew Onis to resign. Because remember, Anna, everybody, please, some me want to know, me still a vote for the Jamaica Labour Party. Someone you listen to that video again. This is Clive Mullins, a breakdown the IC issue. You notice the PNP don't talk on these things. The PNP go for some things where not have no merit for continue to have a conversation. When them hear Dean Jackson Miller speak, them don't care about the good part. When them hear Emily Shees speak, them don't care. You see, this man break down everything out of the paper in a like one paragraph. Easier than Emily Shield. Very, very easy. And more you listen again. The reason I play them video is because the blogger them, what them do is like run with headline. They don't do any research. They don't do any investigation. Them just want the quick YouTube views and the quick TikTok rolls and the tops them. So them say anything for get a crowd and bigger money and do what them want to do, and they don't care. So this is like a karma. What them do now can actually return back to them. You understand me? They would never listen to Clive Mullins. They will never come on the live and play a recording where can clarify this issue. Them prefer gullah and gut out of the mud. Listen to Clive Mullins. And remember, if you're a Jamaica Labour Party supporter, please tell me why Andrew Owen is supposed to resign from the government and resign as a leader of the country. Just get him doctorate. Every day I see the man give a house, a cut and I give a house, yeah, so pay a 3-bedroom house with bathroom, kitchen and toilet. I want a bar, I say garbage truck, I say fire truck, I say fire station, I say health center open down a Morant Bay, somewhere down at a part there, I say St. Mary get health center, I say hospital and make a country, I say bus come one day, I say road a fix up, I say things are going, but uno never see nothing yet. Listen to Clive Mullins.
The Integrity Commission report into the affairs of the Prime Minister has been tabled in the Parliament, and that report has been published and being circulated as is required under law. The report is copious, 170 plus pages, and indeed there are two main aspects to this report. One, dealing with the issue of illicit enrichment, which is pursuant to a section under the Act, section 14(5), and also providing or failing to provide accurate information under the statutory declarations provided, and that is making a false declaration or false statement in a declaration, I beg your pardon, contrary to section 43 subsection 2A of the Act. So there are two things. One, illicit enrichment. The other, as it touches on concerns, the declarations. And those declarations revolve around accounts held by the Prime Minister's mother, father, and I believe a former constituency worker. That part in relation to the declarations was submitted to the Director of Corruption Proceedings because the investigator formed the view that there was a breach. Under the law, the Director of Corruption Proceedings looked at it and made the conclusion that it didn't rise to the level by which the Prime Minister could be charged. The other aspect of the illicit enrichment, in other words, you have holdings above and beyond your earnings. The Director of Investigations was unable to conclude that there was no illicit enrichment. As a consequence, that part was not submitted to the Director of Corruption Proceedings. The point was made that he was prevented because he couldn't get information, and indeed the issues surrounding companies where there have been transactions, including a charity. And they formed the view that he should now enlist the Financial Investigations Division to assist and to decide whether or not there is evidence to move forward. Here is the problem. Here is a conundrum that this approach has now created. When a matter goes to the Director of Corruption Proceedings, and if there is the possibility or a recommendation for the person to be charged, that report going to the Parliament must not include anything which could be deemed prejudicial. Section 54 subsection 4 says where it's likely to prejudice the proceedings, then it must be excluded from the report. In this instance, the issue of illicit enrichment was not sent and could not have been sent to the Director of Corruption Proceedings because the view was not formed by the investigator, and he was unable to form a view that there is a breach. It is left hanging. In other words, he needed more information. The problem is this: by tabling the report and having all the details within this issue, including statements, an addendum of a statement provided, interviews conducted, and so on, raises a problem now. Why is there a problem? Because if it is likely to prejudice the prosecution of any proceedings, you have a problem. And that issue can now be raised. The issue can now be raised to say, listen, you can't proceed because you have now tabled all of this, all the accounts, statements. In fact, there was an addendum of a witness statement. So the issue of prejudice is going to be live. And to compound it, even if the FID were to take action under their own remit, under their own legislation, the same issue can arise because it does say likely to prejudice the prosecution of any proceedings. So what we have now is a situation where, and you can see the reason behind the legislation, where because of this possibility, fairness is now called into question. And it is why the legislation specifies that if there is a tabling of a report that contains something in relation to proceedings that could be deemed prejudicial, it must be extracted. But by failing, and he could not have sent the illicit part of it, quote unquote, he shouldn't table any report at all. You can't now call in the FID having tabled the report and putting everything out there as you have. And I go further. Even if one were to make the point that yes, there is collaboration, absolutely, under the legislation permits that. You can have that collaboration. It allows for the sharing of information. But you have not done this after the event of tabling the report with all its contents. It should have been done before. So if you have an investigation, you engage the FID because you have difficulties and there are some questions you have. You deal with that before tabling any report. So there is a problem. And I go further. by attaching this addendum of a witness statement, by providing all this detail, what does that mean for any proceedings going forward? I note in today's paper that there's a proposed suggested action by the Prime Minister's lawyers. I don't speak to that now. I speak to this. And this is why it is so very important to stay true to your statute that governs you. You are a creature of statute. And I've warned before about commenting on things because the law doesn't allow that. And I'm not accusing the Integrity Commission of doing that. Others have been trying that. But your statute is clear. And so there is a real conundrum that has created. FID, can they prosecute under their remit? And if they do find that they can, is it now permissible based on what has happened in terms of what has now been disclosed on the rule of prejudice and fairness? Can the Integrity Commission proceed because they are not certifying unless they get this guidance and so on from the FID? Can you now proceed because the Director of Corruption Proceedings has not had the opportunity to extract anything because it would not have been put before her so to do if there's anything prejudicial? So the issue of prejudice is live in the overall issue. Stay true to your mandate. You may not agree, but I urge that you look at this and learn from it. And I want to make a point, another point, that I noticed that there are recommendations in relation to a particular entity, well, you know, it's Baritas in the public domain, about anything under other acts. I am not convinced that the Integrity Commission has any such power. Your remit is under the Integrity Commission's Act. Anything breached there, anything suggests otherwise, is, as the lawyers call, ultra vires, if you ask me. But that is for them to argue and deal with. So I make no pronouncement on political consequence. I'm looking at what has happened. I make no pronouncement. Well, I make this pronouncement. I make no allegation at all about the Integrity Commission. I know some of them, persons of integrity. There's not an issue. I make no issue about whether or not there's politicizing of this. I don't see that, not seeing that at all, not asserting that at all. But what I am asserting is that now they've been painted into a corner by dealing with the matter in this way. And those are my views.
To all who hate the JLP government of Jamaica, we ask you a favor. Please, a little favor, please. Left ya no. Stop making your head out on you. Stop stress up on yourself. Stop beat up on your gum. Stop complaining, man. Left ya. I want hold on ya. There are two airports in Jamaica, one at Kingston and one at Mobile. Please, play now waiting on. Oh, we don't have enough fear. There's no problem. I will give you the money. I'm not lending you. I will get money and go and make all of them go away. Just send you no name all of them where I live Jamaica and go away. Go on. Do you know what me hate about it? All of who we are complaining about the government of Jamaica. Who know me here say I make all of the money them. Who have flash this left, right and center morning, noon and night and I build up house and this and that and you're still a complain. And because of who no make Jamaica move so slow. And because of who no make so much crime there. And because of who no make development is so stagnant. And because of who no make progress take it time. And because of who no make Jamaica now explore to the international world. We ask you please, those who fight against and those who corrupt and those who hate the government of Jamaica, the JLP, please take on yourself now. Please, Jamaica, no left ya now. We ask no so we can happy. And those who know what's the purpose of the government of Jamaica and wish our country good, make me tell ya. We are given no 90 days to left ya. Galang, left Jamaica, every country is here when I'm Africa. Galang. We will turn and we will stay. Jamaica we love, the JLP government we love, and we will work with the government. When him right, we praise him. When him wrong, we let them know. Galang, anti-progress, anti-development, anti-happiness, anti-freedom. Galang!